Hello, EKN Nation. We're back. Bob Howden alongside David Cole for another show here on the EKN Radio Network. It is the OutLap, and we have a new event coming up this weekend, the United States Pro Kart Series Carolina Grand Prix down at Trackhouse Motorplex, May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Episode 90 of the show, April 29th is the date here. As David and I sit in the studio once again, I already did one show already earlier today. We wrapped things up for the Challenge of the Americas in Sonoma. We are ready to rock in with this OutLap to get things underway for our EKN Trackside coverage of the USPKS event this coming weekend. The OutLap show presented today by Rawlson Performance Group. At the Rawlson Performance Group, we strive for ultimate success. We're more than just an arrive and drive race team with countless wins on the national regional level. Our focus is on complete driver development, and that is where the success is fueled. We combine one-on-one coaching, on-track instruction, and intensive data debriefing with unparalleled kart and engine prep. Our program will help raise your game. We'll take you to the next level. If that's your goal, RPG needs to be your next move. Experience the Rawlson difference. All right, D. Cole, let's get things underway here. May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We just got back yesterday. In fact, you did the red eye on Sunday night. Got everything prepped for the couple of podcasts here, and you roll out first thing Thursday morning for USPKS this weekend. Man, you're going to need some time to catch up on some sleep when you get back from that race.
Yeah, nap would be good right about now. Thankfully, the Thursday trip's not too bad. 8 a.m. flight, going to get to the racetrack, get everything set up, and have some good dinner Thursday. Try and get a good night's sleep Thursday because Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be busy with the second event of the United States Pro Kart Series for 2025, the Carolina Grand Prix, going back to Trackhouse Motorplex, the unofficial home of the USPKS.
Yeah, much better than my 2:30 alarm clock tomorrow morning to get down to Barber Motorsports Park for USF Juniors. I would love to have a day off, but no, we're right back at it as well. Again, as David said, Trackhouse Motorsports, again, as you know, folks, this is a well-established program, the USPKS, starting back in 2013, 13th season of the program, and again looking for strong numbers. It's gonna be a good weekend, of course, down at Trackhouse. The racing always so incredible with the USPKS, top level competition for sure. David, let's talk weather. Let's do a little scan right there now. You normally are kind of a rain guy. Doesn't look like it this weekend.
I'll just say, Rob, the percentage is higher than when we went to Sonoma, but it is a different climate. North Carolina is a little bit of a different climate than Sonoma, California.
Sure enough. Yep.
So I am hoping that the 20% chance of rain means very minimal chance of rain on the weekend. I think that was the highest percentage I saw of the 3 days. So that's a good indicator that we should have overall a good weekend of weather. However, it begins on Friday in the 80s, drops down to mid 70s on Saturday, and a high in the low 70s on Sunday. So it's going to get cooler as the weekend goes along. So that'll be quite interesting. We'll see how that plays out in terms of setup for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, exactly that. That's going to make things a little interesting as the mechanics will have to make their calls. Dave, let's talk about the racetrack itself. Obviously, we know Trackhouse Motorplex, initially Mooresville Motorplex, then it became GoPro Motorplex. Now it's Trackhouse Motorplex, opened back in 2012. And again, the opening of this track, I think, was such a huge thing. We talk a lot these days about all these new tracks that are getting built, how great it is. Well, that, the opening of what was then the Mooresville Motorplex, such amazing news to have a sprint track like that right in the middle, essentially, of NASCAR country, right in the middle of Mooresville. And again, the inaugural event for the USPKS was back in 2013 at the track. Dave, they're going to run the national clockwise direction around the 7/10 mile 11-turn layout.
Yeah, the normal direction, national layout. No changes in terms of that. It's always been that layout for USPKS. Obviously, different events have like you got the IMA USA Grand National Championships that run the unique configurations, but no, Challenge or USPKS is sticking with the national layout that we've become accustomed to. Again, a replica of the Parma facility circuit in Italy that used to hold European and World Championships.
Dave, give us a rundown of the event schedule for the weekend.
Yeah, your standardized schedule for the USPKS begins with optional practice on Thursday. Then we get into official practice on Friday with 4 rounds held before qualifying at the end of the day. We'll do 3 rounds of heat races, including a warm-up on Saturday to make for the long and situational day. And then Sunday we get into warm-up, possible B mains, and then the finals with K100 Senior and K100 Junior running the ABCD heat format. Right now, I looked at the schedule. They changed it to the top 50 transfer to the finals. So with entries above 50 for those categories, we'll see if they stay at that level, increase, or what. I'm sure it'll be an at-track decision on if they do run B mains or not.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. All right, we're underway with this edition of the EKN OutLap, episode number 90, as we dive in and get things underway with the start of our coverage for this coming weekend's USPKS Carolina Grand Prix at Trackhouse Motorplex. When we get back from this quick early break, we'll hit the by the numbers, let you know who's running where. Take advantage of the deals available through RTX USA Group, an official distributor for Rotax karting products in the United States. RTX USA Group provides Rotax engines, Mojo tires, and XPS products to dealers and competitors in the southern U.S. states, from their base in Florida all the way to California. Take advantage of their engine purchase offer, which gives you 2 sets of Mojo D5 tires when you purchase a Rotax Max Evo or the Rotax DD2 Max Evo. For those looking to add a Rotax Micro Max Evo MY20 or a Rotax Mini Max Evo MY-I20 to their lineup, those customers will be provided with 2 sets of Mojo D2 tires. Customers who purchase a Rotax Junior Max Evo won't be left out, also receiving 2 sets of Mojo D2 tires. RTX is also introducing the new Mojo Club, with opportunities to save on Mojo tires by bundling them together. Learn more about becoming a dealer or joining the Mojo Club by visiting rtxkarting.com today. Made in the USA. It's not just a statement, it's the mission at Factory Karts of America. Led by 5-time Super National champion Billy Musgrave, Factory Karts manufactures their frames completely in-house at the Phoenix, Arizona facility. Built and designed from the ground up specifically for the American karting market, Factory Karts brings new innovations and solutions that are long overdue. Factory Karts bring together the highest quality materials to produce high-performance, long-lasting karts that have been designed and perfected from years of development. No other karting manufacturer stands behind its product as Factory Karts does, providing a 2-year warranty on all their frames. Join the Factory Karts official race team this season, hitting the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and Pro Kart Challenge, along with the new Southwest Super Series program. Full trackside support for Factory Kart competitors is available, along with Arrive and Drive programs and tent space housed under our new race team hauler that debuted at Super Nationals 27. Remember when American Made meant more innovative, original, stronger, faster, and just plain better? Well, American Made is back. Contact Factory Karts today to join the American Made movement. Learn more by visiting factorykarts.com or email info@factorykarts.com.
Welcome to AIM Sports and the groundbreaking Micron 6 karting data logger. Since its inception, AIM Sports has been at the forefront of motorsport technology, revolutionizing how racers gather data. From its early days, AIM has tailored its innovations to provide precise insights, allowing racers to fine-tune their strategies and push their limits. Fast forward to today, and we're excited to celebrate 30 years of Micron by introducing the latest evolution in karting data loggers, the Micron 6. Designed with cutting-edge features, including 25Hz GPS with mil-spec precision, a 6-axis inertial platform, shift lights and alarms, temperature inputs, and a host of wired and wireless expansions. With 2 CAN buses, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi, it's perfect for karting enthusiasts looking to enhance their game on the track. With its advanced suite of sensors, high-speed data acquisition, and easy-to-use interface, the Micron 6 delivers unparalleled performance on track. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, this powerful tool helps you analyze every turn, every lap, even every heartbeat. Imagine a tool that not only records your lap times, but also analyzes parameters like speed, tire temperature, driver inputs, and engine performance. With the Micron 6, you'll gain insights that can shave seconds off your times and elevate your skills behind the wheel. Don't just drive, be data-driven. Join the AIM Sports community today and equip yourself with the Micron 6 to take your karting experience to the next level. Visit aimsports.com to learn more. AIM Sports, 30 years of Micron.
Back at it here with episode number 90 of the EKN OutLap, our preview podcast for this coming weekend's USPKS event at Trackhouse Motorplex. My name's Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. Let's have a look by the numbers. This is, of course, the second event on the year. David started the season off down at Daytona International Speedway with 218 entries, almost a 10% increase, 233 pre-entries lined up for Trackhouse.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a Trackhouse bump every time you go there. Certainly, as you talked about, Rob, in talking about Trackhouse Motorplex, since that was built at the end of 2012, it's become, a hub for karting, especially along the East Coast. So you do get a lot of the East Coast drivers coming in. We get club or regional drivers coming in when big events do come to Trackhouse Motorplex. So you do get the bump. Certainly, we got a bump in the KA divisions with 53 now in KA Junior and 50 in KA Senior. So both categories above the 50 mark. We'll see, if they do run B-mains or not. I would assume Junior, if they don't get more than 2 walk-ups, will probably allow everybody to run in the main events. So a possible 55 kart field for the main events in KA Junior. So we'll see what they do. Again, they're split up in heat races. So that, again, watching that, the 3 rounds of heat races, it makes for safer racing when you only have, 25 karts out there, and rather than the 50 karts going at it in pre-finals. So that's a good scenario, and it's helped keep things run smoothly for USPKS in doing that. But also puts a little drama, you race certain drivers in certain heats, so it makes it a little bit fun. But yeah, over 100 drivers in those 2 categories.
Yeah, pretty wild, right? 233 pre-entries. Remember, only 7 classes with Micro and Mini Swift, X30 and X30 Junior and Pro, and then the 3 KA classes. We talk about the fact over 100 drivers in just the KA Junior and Senior. David, I always kind of lean towards having a look at this. 66 drivers as well in the cadet categories, 35 in Micro Swift, up 1 from Daytona. Same with Mini Swift at 31, up 1 from Daytona as well. 66 drivers from cadet racing this weekend at Trackhouse.
Yeah, all drivers under the age of 12 competing in those 2 categories. So a good number. I think we saw in the Winter Series above 70 mark. So a little bit down with that for USPKS, but still 66 drivers in 2 categories is a massive number, especially when we're talking drivers under the age of 12. The big bump, however, though, is in X30 Junior, going from 22 to 29. A lot of that, again, Trackhouse bump. There's some drivers in the area that are making the jump into the X30 category. So it's been a long time since we've seen or talked about X30 Junior getting close to 30 or more in a weekend. So it's great to see that. Obviously, the kind of, I think right now we're seeing a lot of focus on getting these younger drivers that are getting into the junior ranks accustomed to that, because they're looking at cars when they hit 13 and 14. So I think that speed transition, going from cadet to KA now to X30, we're seeing a lot more drivers making that move over into the X30 rank.
Yeah, just got that extra speed that you need. X30 Pro up an entry as well, had 19 at Daytona. There's 20 in the Pro category. Again, we've seen the fact that some of these races have more pros, some with a little less, 20 here in total. K100 Masters, David, up a couple, 15 drivers in the Masters category. So that's, again, great for Masters racing here to have 15. I'd love to see the 20. That's kind of that mark you always look at, 20. 15 still a bunch of guys ready to come out and battle it out this weekend.
Yeah, I think those numbers in those two categories are going to be pretty static for the rest of the year. We go to Road America, so you might get a couple more K Masters. You look at the Tag Masters program they have in Wisconsin, so you might see a couple drivers, say a Scott Kopp or some of the local drivers trying their hand at USPKS that weekend, including the X30 Pro. You might see some of the Midwest guys, and then when we go to Newcastle as well too, you might see a little bit of a shift upwards in those two categories. So pretty solid numbers above the 200 mark with 7 categories. That's exactly what you want. And it keeps the momentum going for Road America and Newcastle.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Trackhouse, folks, 233 pre-entries. David mentioned there is a big local following there, which means you could have some walk-ups, some guys that maybe didn't enter, pre-enter, but man, you know what? It looks pretty good in my category. Maybe I'll show up. So you never know. We could get a couple there as well. So 235, 240, not out of the question for the USPKS event down in Mooresville. Another break, folks. We get back. Time to go class by class. We'll start with the 2 senior categories. We'll go X30 Pro and KA100 Senior after this break. What brand is known around the world for its innovation and success? It is Sodi Kart. The Sodi brand returned in full force during the 2023 season thanks to the new exclusive importer, the Karting Distribution, led by industry veteran Terry Germanovich. The French manufacturer Sodi Kart is a leader within the karting industry, offering a wide range of products and services. The Sodi Racing chassis line offers product in classes from mini karts to KZ, all based on years of development and championship seasons around the world. Sodi Racing USA has expanded its dealer network over the last year, bringing the Sodi brand to several local clubs and regional programs. The Sodi Racing USA by PK Sports is the official race team, producing many victories in different levels across the board. And the new Pro Race Academy is designed to cater to the next generation of motor racing, helping boys and girls aiming to make their mark. Visit Sodi-Racing-USA.com to learn more about Sodi Kart chassis or call 954-634-5111 to become part of the Sodi Racing USA network today. Sodi Kart, the world leader in the karting industry. Made in the USA. That's exactly what you get from Precision Karting Technologies. Based in Detroit, Michigan, PKT brings over 35 years of manufacturing experience to the sport of karting. Their passion for the sport began focusing around the Kid Kart platform and has expanded every year with hundreds of products designed to put you on the podium. Precision Karting Technologies is known around North America for their successful line of axles available in all age groups. PKT manufactures a number of engine products for Comer, IAME, Rock, Rotax, and the popular Briggs & Stratton 206. A wide variety of chassis components for the many brands in the sport are available through PKT, including hubs, pedal risers, skid plates, and other hardware for your kart. Axle straightening, chassis adjustments, engine service, and specific CNC machining projects are available through their Motor City headquarters. To learn more about the many products and services available from Precision Karting Technologies, head to pktaxles.com. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history in motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level and track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of race day. Be sure to follow Briggs & Stratton Racing on Facebook and through @RaceBriggs on Instagram. To learn more about the 206 engine or to find the North American dealer near you, head to BriggsRacing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? All right, back at it here with the OutLap. Here is myself, Rob Howden, and David Cole previewing this coming weekend's USPKS event at Trackhouse Motorplex. 233 pre-entries, as we talked about before the break. X30 Pro, presented by the Rawlson Performance Group. 20 entries. And, of course, out of the gate, Ryan Norberg, multi-time champion, both in USPKS and SCUSA competition, leading the points by 70 over Paulie Massimino. Frankie Mossman there as well. Jacob Kolar and Finnegan Bailiff, the top 5 drivers in the category. David, what do we look at here? We dive a little bit into the actual entry list.
One of them not on the entry list, Paulie Massimino, the runner-up in Daytona. Not on the list, but contacted him. He will be racing, so he's actually going to be doing double duty once again at his home racetrack, Trackhouse Motorplex. So that's a cool scenario playing out. Obviously, the more track time he gets, but he knows that place very, very well. So I would expect him to be among those in contention to try and take down Norberg, of course.
Hey, David,
yeah.
I don't see Norberg on the list.
Yeah, Norberg not on the list as well too. He'll probably be in that try. Totally missed that one as well too. So good catch, Rob. Early, not a lot of sleep here.
We're going to give you some wiggle room, David. You got a lot of room here right now because I got used to you've been up like crazy. It's not.
Yeah, again, he'll be there. I assume he'll be there again. He could just be another. It was kind of the same thing at Daytona. He didn't register till at track, so little mind games playing by the soon to be father. I don't think he'll appreciate it when his kid does that. But yes, So Ryan Norberg, Paulie Massimino, Frankie Mossman, Jacob Kolar, Finnegan Bailiff, the top 5 in the championship, all going to be at Trackhouse. The name that'll kind of the wild card that'll probably be in the mix is last year's race winner Hayden Jones, the Rawlson Performance Group driver, making his 2025 debut. Again, this is a kid who I think maybe had 7 races and was up there in the top 10 of the EKN driver rankings at the end of last year. So every time he's on the racetrack, he's gunning for a victory or podium for sure. So especially at Trackhouse where he's grown up racing, just very similar to like Paulie Massimino.
So I'll just throw in the other 3 names that kind of just jump out at me right now. Number 1 would be Colin Lloyd, now running with Velocity Racing on the Sodi Kart. Caden McQueen for Energy Course North Americas on the Energy. And last but not least, I would put Enzo Vidmontien being up there in the top 10 as well for SLA Kart Racing.
Yeah, Vidmontien making his X30 Pro debut as he raced KA Senior at Daytona. So he'll be making. I think he's double duty as well too. But McQueen didn't quite have a Daytona that he wanted to. Yeah, Vidmontien running both. McQueen didn't have the Daytona he wanted to. Got involved in a wreck in one of the heat races, got driven over, so had a injury to his hand, but just didn't quite have the pace to be up there gunning for the podium. I would expect him to be there at Trackhouse. Not sure on the testing or amount of time he's been there, so that'll be something we'll have to dive into once we get Trackside. And then the other name, Colin Lloyd, he made his Sodi Kart debut with Velocity Racing at Daytona. So now he's got a couple races under his belt, raced there and raced at the SCUSA Pro Tour Winter Nationals in Texas in the KA category. So, a couple races under his belt. We'll see if he's able to use, I'm sure he knows the racetrack at Trackhouse well, see if he's able to use that to help put him towards the top 5.
Let's move on to KA 100 Senior, presented by Brandon Jarsa Crack Racing. 50 entries. And I just want to point this out, folks. This past weekend, we were at the Challenge of the Americas at Sonoma. David, of course, going straight over after a day at home, a couple days at home, over to Trackhouse. They had 41 over there, David. That's 91 entries over KA 100 over back-to-back weekends on 2 coasts. 50 entries here, 41 over at the Challenge. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, I was just taking a quick look. I don't think we have anybody doing double duty.
I was going to say,
Steven Eisert would have been one of them. I don't think he's coming out.
There's Joseph Hewitt. I remember saying his name for Speed Sports. The Speed Sense, rather.
Oh yeah, you'll be right.
Hewitt. I'm just doing a quick scroll. Blake Nash will be racing. He was coaching over there.
Yeah.
The only one the only one I'm seeing right now is Joseph Hewitt.
Well, there you go. So driver going. So technically it's 90 drivers.
90 drivers. That's awesome though. That's awesome.
And again, we keep talking about it. It's just too much work to try and do the 100cc driver rankings. Yeah. It's because when you get fields of 50 or more, it takes a while to insert those results, Rob.
Yeah, listen, folks. We're not adding. If anything, we're not doing it anymore. We'll go the other direction, just shut it down because it's so much work for David to do all the calculations and input.
How about we just keep track of podiums? Maybe that'll be a good one to do.
That's funny. All right, well let's talk about the fact that James Overbeck coming out of the gate as the race winner at Daytona. So he is the leader by ahead of Massimino. He's in second in both Pro and KA 100 Senior. He's only 10 back of Overbeck coming into the race. Blake Nass, Sebastian Garzone, and Brandon Lemke, the top 5 drivers coming in. 95 points separate David the top 5. This is going to be a barn burner. At this particular racetrack, always elbows up when you're going to this particular track.
Yeah, and again, the ABCD heat format, it certainly helps provide and bring multiple contenders into the mix, because you could be good in a couple heat races, or consistent over all 3, and then kind of put yourselves up towards the front. But there's a lot of names in this field that have experience at Trackhouse or just outright fast. And you talked about the top 5 already in the championship. That is pretty solid. Let me just start with a couple to go off of. You said, Matteo Pappas. That was the name I was trying to look for. Okay. That's his track. That's his home racetrack. Yep. Showed very well. Got a top 5 finish in Daytona, not in the top 5 in points, but got a top 5 finish in Daytona. So it was impressive in his senior debut. You got Enzo Vidmontien coming up as a senior rookie as well too. Eli Warren can be faster as well. Peyton Phillips has been fast everywhere he goes. So those are a couple names just to name. Just off the top of the head. Yeah,
David, you mentioned local driver who calls the track home. How about a Caleb Gaffera as well, right? Running with Holtz Driver Development. I expect he'll be right in there. He gets a lot of time on that track, although he's home to a different track. Gavin Bailiff, a guy you've always got to watch out for in these runs. What else we got down here, guys, that we could expect? Peyton Phillips, always up front in the 100cc races. Do we give a shout out to Emery Lida?
Yeah, Emery Lida knows this racetrack as well too. So
not only a stats man and working the coverage and on the broadcast and the podcast for Kart Chaser, also heck of a driver as well.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age though. He's almost getting too old. But then
you be a master driver pretty soon.
You look at Brandon Lemke, like he's still duking it out with the kids. A couple other names to watch. Jared Clark, he just coming off a victory at the Stars Championship Series and Charlotte Motor Speedway, racing for Brandon Jarzakrak Racing. So he knows this racetrack very well. And Connor Ferris, another one of those drivers. I keep waiting to see him pick up a big victory. The Kart Republic driver for Team Ferris Racing. He could be a factor if he's got everything going his way.
Yeah, other guys, I could add a Maxwell. We saw Raheem Alibi be kind of a top 10 guy at the SCUSA Winter Series. We'll see if he's able to step up. Those are some of the drivers I think, David, we expect to see work on their way, at least into the top 10, maybe top 20.
Yeah, no, don't forget about the Canadians, Rob. We got some Canadians coming down. You got Frederic and Antoine Lemieux, for Racing Edge Motorsports, along with Oliver Mark. I don't know.
I would say Mrak, but I'm not even.
Mrak, yes.
I don't know. Olivier. Is it Oliver or Olivier? Okay. Yeah. REM's got some guys lined up for sure.
Yeah. So REM's got some guys coming down. So they could be a factor as well all weekend long.
No doubt about it, folks. There's your start in terms of X30 Pro and KA 100 Senior. Let's have another quick break. When we come back, we'll run through juniors, both X30 and KA, and we'll include KA 100 Master in there as well. Wins at the sport's biggest races, as well as championships across all levels of karting, pack the resume for Nitro Kart. The Nitro Kart brand has made its statement as the best, fastest, and most reliable cadet chassis on the North American karting market. If you want to win in cadet, both in 2-cycle and 4-cycle competition, get a Nitro Kart and join the team. Team Nitro Kart will be at all major events. Trackside with Ryan Perry Motorsport, the official race team. Owner Ryan Perry and his RPM operation carries the full selection of Nitro Kart chassis and parts, while also providing the same driver development focus as Nitro Kart owner Nick Tucker. You can also join the Team Nitro Kart race team at all major 4-cycle races this season. Led by longtime Nitro Kart tuner Cody Johnson, Team Nitro Kart will be at all the major Cup Karts North America events with arrive and drive opportunities available for all ages. Nitro Motorsports is a true karts-to-karts driver development program that is already gaining success after launching in 2022. Victories and championships in the Trans Am Series has highlighted the team's start, along with the success in the new GR Cup by Toyota. Current and former karters can take advantage of this unique ladder system with Nitro Kart and Nitro Motorsports. Visit Nitro Kart online and find them on social media. Nitro Kart, race one or chase one. It's a storied brand in karting, and it's got a new home in North America. Energy Course Americas is the official distributor for the Energy Course karting chassis and product line here in the US and Canada. The Energy Course brand was founded in 1997 out of passion and skill. Manufactured in Italy, Energy Course has gained national and international recognition with success in all different categories. Energy Course Americas offers an online store for the entire product line of the Energy Course brand, including complete racing packages, spare parts, race gear, clothing, and more, providing an excellent shopping experience. Race the brand that 9 of the 20 drivers currently in Formula One competed on during their karting careers. Visit energycourse.io to see the latest deals and to learn more about Energy Course Americas. Let decades of experience and success lead you to the top of the podium. Join Brandon Jarsacrack Racing as your race team at the sport's major events in the United States. Brandon Jarsacrack is a 4-time United States Pro Kart Series champion, along with a multi-time SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and WKA Manufacturers Cup Series race winner. Jarsacrack is ranked among one of the best from his generation to get behind the wheel of a racing kart. BJR provides full race team service and support at all USPKS, SCUSA, and Stars Championship Series events, along with trackside programs at the Trackhouse Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. Partnering with Mike Doty Racing, Brandon's team of driver coaches and mechanics are passionate for the sport, providing decades of experience both on the track and working with many of today's karting standouts and current motorsport stars. Brandon Jarsacrack Racing offers a full range of services, including kart preparation, driver coaching, and race event support for both 2-cycle and 4-cycle competitors. BJR is an official LN Racing Kart team with OTK USA and is an official offset sport race team. Contact them today to develop a program based around your needs. Head to BrandonJarsacrack.com to learn more. Back at it here with the EKN OutLap as we're kind of diving into the preview for the USPKS event this coming weekend in Trackhouse. Let's have a look now at the X30 Junior category presented by Speed Concepts Racing. 29 entries in Junior. We'll see if we get the walk-up to hit that magic 30. Theo Salameo won the race at Daytona. He's got a 5-point lead over Alexander Vanchev, Ashton Wu, Nathan Dupuis, and Sarah Bradley, your top 5. 170 points separate the top 5 drivers right now. But David, a bunch of extra drivers added in here as well, including those 5 who looked good down in Daytona.
Yeah, Salameo, the EKN driver of the month for the month of March after picking up 2 wins, X30 Junior and KA Junior in Daytona. So he's kind of going to be the target going into the weekend, coming off that successful two main event victories. But a lot of drivers in this field going to be able to battle. One of them making his return back to the USPKS competition, first time in the X30 Junior category, is Lucas Palacio, the driver who's been racing in the OKN category over for the Kart Republic race team in Europe. Picked up some wins this winter, making his way back to what is his home racetrack, the Trackhouse Motorplex for the Virginia driver. It's going to be interesting to see how he is. We saw him win at the SCUSA Winter Series in his only weekend there. I kind of put all my, if I was a betting man, I'd kind of put all my money in his chips or in his area. However, you know, you look at Ashton Moon, who finished third there, or finished second or third at the at Daytona in his X30 junior debut at USPKS. This is also his home racetrack. So there's a lot of home track advantage in this category with especially those two drivers who do so well at all different racetracks. You get them at their home racetrack where they have thousands of laps already. It's going to be an interesting and challenging weekend.
Yeah, a lot of guys jumping out at me that we've watched them kind of step to the forefront over the last little bit here. Max Weiland being one of them. You know, we talked already about the fact that Nate Dupuis is in the top 5. He's coming off a really strong weekend out at Sonoma. Edward Kennedy was super strong at the SCUSA Winter Series as well for Energy Course Americas, and I expect him to jump up there as well. Jose Alejandro Halfin, David, was strong at the SCUSA races and at the start of the SCUSA Pro Tour. I don't know exactly how he finished at Daytona, but another driver, Jose Halfin, with Ralston Performance Group, you know he's got to be somewhere in the top 10. He and Cole Medeiros as well, right? Medeiros was super good and has been to start the season through Q1.
Yeah, I don't think Halfin was at Daytona, so I think that
maybe a debut.
This will be his USPKS debut. So,
right.
Those are some drivers. Other drivers talk about making their USPKS debut. John Antonino, the California driver, coming over to make his USPKS debut on the season. Another driver to look for, Travis Pettit. He calls Trackhouse Motorplex home. He does a lot of club racing there as well too. And then Luca Popescu making his way back to with the Ralston Performance Group. This is also his USPKS debut on the season as well. So
I don't have them on my list. Are these the ones that you picked up extra guys? So are we talking about adding a couple of guys already as walk-ups? Because I don't see Popescu on my driver list that you sent me.
Yeah, Luca Popescu. Yeah, X30 Junior. Are you in the right category?
Where is he? Oh, I'm in KA 100 Junior.
There you go.
Isn't that what we're talking about right now?
No, we're talking about X30.
Oh, that's right. All these double duty guys. So it's interesting. Popescu not running 100cc as well.
Yeah, there's driving. I think
is a double duty. Did you figure that out?
I did not look at the double duty. Actually, I didn't get that.
It'll be a good Paddock Insider. Hold that for the Paddock Insider.
Sure, I'll do that. But it helps to look at the right class there, Rob.
Scroll down, Rob. Scroll down.
Hey, we're running on fumes, right?
Yeah, no doubt. But listen, I like the guys you've brought up because I think they're the key ones right now that we'll see come to the forefront, right? Because I think we like to talk about guys we expect to see in top 10, and maybe some that might break through, right? And that's one of the cool things. There's a bunch of drivers here, that, especially early in the season. It's if you're a rookie, you're kind of looking for that breakthrough weekend, right?
Of course. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to kind of make a name for yourself in the junior category, get some attention, and also get used to running up front. And that's a very key element. We saw that with Nathan Dupuis. He's been on the cusp, and we saw him do it this past weekend. So maybe that's going to help carry that momentum over here into Trackhouse.
And with all the racing that these guys do at the start of the season, when does the rookie break out? When are you kind of no longer a rookie? Dave, when I talk about the USF Pro Championships, I always look at like Road America, because the guys have driven in the series. They've driven a street circuit in St. Petersburg. They've driven the oval at IRP, and they've done a bunch of natural terrain road courses. For kart, and so Road America is the next one. In karting, when is that rookie guy in a junior category? When has he had enough racing through SCUSA and USPKS and Rock Cup and Rotax, whatever he's running in the off season? By the time these guys get to these mid-season or these early season races of the primary seasons, it's almost like they're seasoned beyond being just a rookie now.
Well, yes. Yeah. And in terms of experience, they're definitely not rookies, but you still have to kind of put that on that, you keep the yellow stripes throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's always that first year. It's like being a freshman in high school. You could be the smartest kid, but you're still a freshman in high school.
I always feel that there's that transition somewhere in the middle that these drivers start stepping up.
No, I agree with you on that. Yeah. In terms of talent level, there certainly is that, I mean, you have that. It's almost, that's when you say top tier rookie, or not just a rookie. They're a top tier rookie.
True.
they're, you're like your National Honor Society rookie.
That's it. All right, let's go to that KA junior category I've already been looking at for the last 10 minutes. BBS Race Engines, the sponsor of the junior class on the USPKS, 53 pre-entries. And David talked about the fact that Theo Solomeo was our driver of the month. When you win both races at the USPKS race, you're going to be in the discussion for driver of the month. And he is your point leader in both classes. Now, I mentioned already 5 points over Vanchev in X30, 103 points right now over Julian Rivera in the KA category. Dupuis third in this one, Travis Pettit fourth, Isaac Malkit in the fifth spot, 141 points separating the top five in the KA 100 junior class. We mentioned some drivers doing double duty, Malkit being one of them, I believe, Max Christia as well, Ashton Woon, David, a lot of double duty guys. You'll get the full number for us in the Paddock Insider, but 53 entries, just a lot of guys in this category.
Yeah, Daytona was a dominating weekend in the KA junior category for Solomeo. So that was the difference and why he has such a lead going into the weekend. And I don't think he's been to Trackhouse. So that's another thing we'll have to hit on when we get to the track on Thursday and Friday morning to see has he been there, what's his experience, if he has been, because the Daytona weekend, that was his USPKS debut. He had never been to a USPKS event until that time. So he has a number of Brazilian championships under his belt. So he's been able to take that and bring it to the US and certainly make a name for himself off the get-go. So that's going to be good to see. So different drivers that are going to be trying their hand to cut into that advantage. So certainly they're going to be hoping he doesn't quite have a similar weekend to what he did in Daytona going into the weekend. But yeah, Rob, there's a lot of drivers who are some of the ones that you've been able to pick out in terms of contenders.
Again, right? Max Weil, Alexander Vanchev, Marco Samet moving up. We talked about Cole Medeiros and I already talked about Isaac Malkit, and I mentioned Edward Kennedy. Tyrone Kemper Jr., I think, obviously has emerged as one of the top 10 guys, top 5 guys in the KA 100 junior category. If he has, he gets out of the gate strongly with Speed Concepts Racing. We've been talking about him a lot running up front.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this Vanchev, getting back to him, this Daytona was not a good weekend for him in this category, and he's sitting 10th in the championship right now. So did not exactly have the weekend he wanted to. And we saw him win the SCUSA Winter Series championship in this category. So we know he has the ability to be like what Solomeo did and win both categories. So we'll see if he's able to bounce back on this. One thing about this category, Ashton Woon going to be doing double duty. He didn't do that in Daytona. So he's going to, at his home racetrack, be racing both KA Junior and X30 Junior. So that's going to be a story to watch. Antonino also running double duty as well, too. And then Max Christia, that's a driver we haven't talked about much this year. An injury kept him away from the kart track. So the Georgia driver for on the Kart Republic going to be making his way back behind the wheel and going to Trackhouse Motorplex this weekend.
Give me your thoughts on this. Obviously, we talked about some of the guys that were up front. Daytona is such a unique animal, right? It's a different kind of a racetrack, a little more narrow. It's not the kind of track that a lot of these drivers maybe are used to. You talk, hey, this guy didn't have a good Daytona. He could never get his footing at Daytona. This track right now, Trackhouse seems like a backstop for a lot of people. I think there's some guys that maybe, I struggled a bit at Daytona. Finally, I'm back to a track I know a lot. I've got a lot of laps here. Teams do a lot of testing here. I've driven here in the past, right? Maybe they hadn't driven Daytona before. This is going to be, for a lot of these guys, I think a place they can come back and call it a backstop and say, okay, maybe I had some issues at Daytona. I'm ready to get right back in the fight this coming weekend. You feel that way?
And that's part of the championship scenario too, Rob, because they're doing best 3 of 4. So if you had a bad Daytona, you got the next 3 weekends to make up for it. Or if you weren't in Daytona, you could start your championship run now, especially if you know Trackhouse Motorplex so well. So that was one of the cool factors of going into Daytona was a lot of those drivers had never been there before. So again, you always want to try to give your drivers new experiences. And that's exactly what USPKS was thinking, bringing in Daytona, make it something new and something different that nobody else was doing. Aside from WK Daytona Kart Week, nobody's raced there. So that was a new twist to it. And you're right. People are going to use this Trackhouse to maybe get back up on the horse and be in contention where they thought they should have been.
Let's go to KA100 Masters now, presented by Nash Motorsports. 15 entries. The opening round won by Renato Jader David. He leads Martin Stone in the points by 40. Skitchy Barnes back at 147. He did a kind of a one-off 100cc single-speed race at Daytona. Randy Klimek in fourth spot. Mundy Lawyer rounding out the top five. Klimek and Barnes are not on the entry list. I don't see them entering this weekend. But, David, there are a couple of drivers that are coming in that we haven't seen for a bit.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see Klimek sign up at the racetrack. I know Barnes, he was toying the idea of coming back and racing Trackhouse, but we can't get him off the boat. He's too busy working.
He's working. Kuna Matata, baby.
Yeah, Kuna Matata. but yeah, so that kind of pretty much puts the championship right now between two drivers moving forward. Again, Monday Lawyer could still move himself up into the mix with a good weekend at Trackhouse. This being his first year racing this category after we've seen him do a number of Masters races and road tax competition. But home track, you got to keep talking about it. There are only one driver from North Carolina, and that would be Dusty Davis, a former JICA champion, if I recall correctly. I know he was big on the Stars of Karting days back in the mid 2000s.
IKF Region 7.
Yeah, IKF Region 7. So everybody from California knows this name well. Yeah. But he's also worked at Trackhouse Motorplex. So he knows this racetrack very well. He did do KA Senior back in the day. I looked back at it. I think it was 2017 and 2018 when he did run the KA100 Senior category. But this is going to be his first role in the USPKS competition in the Masters division.
All right. Obviously, Kim and Scott Carapelletti there as well, veteran drivers here. I'll throw in Miguel Mir, again, one of the other stalwarts in the Masters category, whether it was KA100 or X30. Miguel, of course, a multi-time Texas Sprint Racing Series champion, won a lot of big races. Last but not least, David, let's talk about Ariel Castro, the engine builder / racer, going to put the suit and helmet on again this weekend.
Yes, good to see him. He's going to be, it says, with our Allison Performance Group. So he will be alongside Martin Stone. So that'll be a good duo to kind of see work together. Indeed. Castro, yeah, he's won a number of races, raced at Rock Final, Super Cup Final, Rotax Grand Finals as well too. So he's got a lot of experience under his belt. And then another local driver from Georgia, Todd Shambo. He's got a lot of laps around this racetrack as well too. So maybe see him contend for a podium as well.
All right, final break, folks. When we get back, we'll cap off this edition of the Outlap, our preview for this weekend's USPKS Trackhouse event, the Carolina Grand Prix. After this break, we'll chat Mini Swift and Micro Swift. Is IndyCar your dream? If it is, for 2024 and beyond, the path from karting to IndyCar has gotten even clearer. It's time to look into the new USF Juniors program and the Tatis JR23. As a first step of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tires, the USF Junior Series will feature a 6-event, 13-race schedule to train racers for the move into the USF 2000 Championship presented by Continental Tires. 3 of the events in 2024 will run alongside IndyCar at Mid-Ohio, Road America, and Portland. The champion will win a scholarship worth over $263,000, and there's a total prize fund that will exceed $330,000. The series utilizes the state-of-the-art Tatis JR23 race car, which is a development version of the USF 22 used in USF 2000. It's the ideal entry point for career-minded karters moving into the car racing ladder. Safety is always front and center in the minds of the series promoters, and the new USF Juniors car also features the Halo, and races are supported by members of the AMR IndyCar safety team. If IndyCar is your goal, USF Juniors is the starting line. For more information, visit www.usfjuniors.com and follow USF Juniors on social media. CRG is one of the most iconic brands in the world of karting with a never-ending focus on winning. Kart CRG USA is the North American distributor for all CRG products. Based outside of Houston, Texas, Kart CRG USA supports CRG dealers across the continent, reaching every corner of North America. The CRG KT5 has been designed specifically for the US market. The KT5 is the perfect fit for X30, KA100, and other tag platforms, featuring the new Aero package and VEN 11B braking system. For cadet drivers, the CRG Black Beer continues to log in victories and championships across the globe, and is utilized in both 2-cycle and 4-cycle competition here in North America. Longtime CRG drivers will be happy to know the CRG Road Rebel, the standard in quality and performance, continues its excellence for those in the shifter kart ranks. The CRG FS4 chassis is the ideal choice for racers in Briggs & Stratton competition, with numerous podium results across classes at the CKNA divisional and national events. From pure racing to karting entertainment, many tracks, both indoor and outdoor, have made the switch to the CRG Centurion rental kart line. 5 different models for both gas-powered or electric engines can fit any track's needs for a new rental kart fleet. Kart CRG USA has a full inventory of rental karts available for new and existing facilities. For more information on the CRG product line, head to kartcrgusa.com, or to inquire about a North American dealer near you, please email us at sales@kartcrg.com. All right, back at it. Final segment here on the OutLap, episode 90, the preview for the United States Pro Kart Series Trackhouse event, the Carolina Grand Prix. Let's dive back into it here. Mini Swift, as we look at the last 2 categories. Mini Swift brought to you by Sodi Racing USA. David, 31 entries in total. Jaden Francisco, the race winner, but he did not leave with the point lead. There are a lot of points up for grabs for those heat races.
Yes, certainly that was kind of the situation, and really Lockhart should have came away with the victory, but celebrated a bit too early and lost it at the line to Hudson Howard. So that was the. Or I'm sorry, we're talking Matcha. Sorry, we're talking. Same
turn.
thing. It was Matcha who was celebrating. Yeah, my turn. It was Matcha who was celebrating prior to the line, and Francisco earning the victory. So just 14 points separating the two heading into the weekend. So watch for them to be among the contenders. But you got to talk about Parker Ives, a local driver to Trackhouse Motorplex, sitting there in the 3rd spot, 57 points back. We saw him win the Mini Swift division here last year, so coming in as the defending race winner. Santiago Orlioli, another graduate from the micro division, sitting there 4th spot in the championship, 82 points back. And then another micro graduate, Lawrence Perriman, 100 points out of 1st place, sitting 5th in the championship. So those 5 names going to be contenders all weekend long, especially with Perriman and Ives knowing this racetrack very well.
So let's bring in, just throw some names out here. We'll throw Cameron Johnson out here. We know how quick he has been. Colton Schniegenberg, very fast as well. Paxton Romero. And Dave, another driver ready to step up here as well. Let's talk about the Speed Concepts Sodi Kart pilot.
Yeah, Zane Burgess making his debut with Speed Concepts Racing, still on the Sodi Kart, back at the SCUSA Winter Nationals in Texas. So he'll be making his USPKS debut this weekend. Was not in Daytona. His sister actually had heart surgery that prior to that event, so they did not have it on their schedule. So he was out that weekend, but again, get the best 3 out of 4, so he could come away with some good championship points this weekend. You got to put him in championship contention for sure. So I have him as a contender, including those names you talked about. Enzo Di Janeiro, another driver who had an amazing winter season. Yep. The Parallel Motorsport USA driver, going to be among those in contention as well too. I'm looking at some other names. You said Johnson. There's also some other local drivers as well too. You got Holden Myers, the Timmy Tech driver from nearby Denver, North Carolina as well too. So a lot of drivers have a lot of experience at this racetrack. I think Di Janeiro has been here many times. Francisco racing for Nitro Kart. He, I think, kind of lives now in Trackhouse Motorplex. So, this again, a lot of different contenders in this category.
All right, let's jump into the next one here, folks. We'll wrap it all up with Micro Swift presented by Team Ferris Racing. 35 entries in total. David talked about the fact that Hudson Howard coming away with the point lead from Daytona. He won over Lennox Lockhart. 3-point advantage for Howard coming into the weekend now. Leo Simoni is back with 63 points. Slate Harrell and Marcello Flores, the other drivers, 69 points from first back into fifth. David, that was, I just said, a pretty wild weekend down in Daytona for the drivers of Micro as well.
It certainly was. Yeah. Hudson Howard coming away with his first USPKS victory. We just saw Lockhart pick up his first SCUSA Pro Tour victory in Texas. We've seen Simoni win at the SCUSA Winter Series. Slate Harrell calls Trackhouse home. The Nitro Kart driver certainly has a lot of laps here, so he's going to be in contention. And Flores has been fast everywhere he goes, the driver from Mexico on the Kart Republic. So those 5 drivers kind of stand out. You got Zev Godshock making his USPKS debut for the season. We've seen him run up front and win all season along with Dutch Westbrook, his Team Bennick teammate as well. So those are some names to kind of keep an eye on. Jack Katowski for TKG. Burrell Art USA is another one of those in the top 10 contention. Mason Brody, we just saw, had a big weekend in Sonoma. So he'll be going coast to coast from California to North Carolina, coming with Nash Motorsports on the Energy Kart. And then the other, where'd his name go? I lost it. Any other names that Brody Stoffel.
Brody Stoffel. That was the one I was
Texas driver.
Yeah.
He'll be with Jay Howard Driver Development and Kart Republic. So that was something we saw a lot of. Those JHDD drivers on Kart Republics were up front in Daytona. So we'll see if they can continue that at Trackhouse.
There you have it, folks. David gave you the schedule earlier in the show, and then talking about the fact that they're on track. Optional practice is coming Thursday. David will be traveling in during that day. On track for practice on Friday, qualifying as well. Heats 1, 2, and 3 on Saturday. A warm-up, potential B-main, we'll see, but otherwise finals on Sunday down at Trackhouse Motorplex. You can obviously watch it on Kart Chaser. We'll have the audio on ekartingnews.com, www.ekartingnews.com/live or ekartingnews.com/radio to be able to listen to the live. If you're rolling down the road, you just want to watch it or listen to it rather on your mobile device. Download the EKN Radio Network app. We'll stream all of it on there as well. David's hashtags will be, of course, hashtag EKN at USPKS, hashtag USPKS, and hashtag Carolina Grand Prix. David, any final words? I know that 100% you're going to take a couple of days off after this run, but out of the frying pan into the fire, right? Great race against Sonoma, and then to one of the pillar, the foundation tracks in North American karting, Trackhouse Motorplex.
Yeah, and we do have a $13,000 purse up for grabs in X30
right.
Pro. I forgot to talk about that. First place getting just over $5,000, and they're paying all the way back to sixth place, which is just over $1,000. So all 6 drivers in the top 6 will get over $1,000 for sure. 2,600 second place. So if we could get, now we know Norberg and Massimino will be walk-ups. If we get 8 more walk-ups, they'll get a near 20,000 total purse. So that'll pay all the way to 10th place. So again, USPKS putting in a big purse for the 3 remaining events of 2025.
Let's get some of them locals out to come and play, folks. We want that 30 mark at X30 Pro. Otherwise, that wraps things up for this edition of the OutLap, episode number 30. As we said, David Cole will be on the ground, boots on the ground on Friday morning to get things underway. Paddock Insider from Trackhouse. Of course, coverage all weekend long. Make sure you follow on social media for the immediate top 10s, race reports, all of the video that Dave takes throughout the weekend, obviously going up as well on IG and Facebook. So make sure to follow our social media to get the inside scoop on what's happening at the second event of this year's United States Pro Kart Series. Carolina Grand Prix this weekend at Trackhouse. Thanks for tuning in to the OutLap Preview podcast. On behalf of David Cole, my name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.